Hey, happy Friday. Today we're going to finish Ready Freddy, Homework Castles, and we're going to read chapter 7 through 10, and let's see how our story ends. Remember at the end of chapter 6, Suzy was on her way to school with her brother. He had broken his arm, and she was feeling like she was going to have to be a slave, so let's see what happens. Chapter 7, King of the World. Thanks, Suzy, I said as she dropped my backpack at my classroom door and took across off the yard. You're not welcome, she called over her shoulder. As soon as I walked into class, all the kids ran up to me and started asking me tons of questions. Jessie was the first. Oh my gosh, Freddy, what happened? Is it broken? Chloe asked. Duh, said Max. Of course it's broken. Why do you think he has on a cast? Well, you don't have to be so mean, Chloe said, sticking out her tongue. I was just asking. Max turned back to me. So what happened? Did you fall off your bike with training wheels? He snickered. No, for your information, I fell out of a tree, a very high tree. Oh yeah? How high? Max asked. Oh, I bet it was at least 20 feet off the ground. I glanced over in Robbie's direction and gave him a please just back me up kind of look. Oh yeah, at least 20 feet, Robbie chimed in. Yep, I was doing some fancy tricks on a branch and the branch broke. Yeah, he was hanging upside down by his knees, said Robbie. No way, Max said in disbelief. I didn't think you even knew how to climb a tree. Oh yeah, I do it all the time, I said, trying to sound tough. Jessie gently touched my cast. Does it hurt a lot, Freddy? It did at first, but not much anymore. Caramba, you're so brave. Well, Freddy, said Mrs. Wishy, that must have been scary. I'm glad you're okay. I see you broke your right hand, so you'll have to be a lefty for the next few weeks. You just let me know if you need any extra help with your work. It might be tough to cut with your left hand. Thanks, I said, smiling. Can we sign your cast? Asked Jessie. Sure, that's a great idea, said Mrs. Wishy. I bet that would make Freddy feel a lot better. I'll go home and get some permanent markers. Mrs. Wishy went to get her markers at lunch. When she sat down at the table, I had to rest my arm. Robbie came to sit next to me. Thanks for playing along back there, I whispered. What are friends for? He whispered back and smiled. You know, you're the best friend a guy could have. So you're not mad at me for all that happened? Robbie asked. No, it's not your fault. I was the one who climbed the tree. Just then Mrs. Wishy came back. Okay, everyone, let's line up and you can take turns signing Freddy's cast. Max, of course, pushed and shoved his way to the front of the line and then wrote his name on it really huge. Too bad the markers were permanent. The rest of you need to write a little smaller, said Mrs. Wishy, so that everyone's name will fit. Chloe bragged, I know how to write my name in cursive. And then she wrote her name all swirly and fancy. I guess I was supposed to be impressed, but I wasn't. Jessie signed her name and then drew a little red heart next to it. My stomach did a flip-flop. When it was Robbie's turn, he wrote, Best friends forever, Robbie. After all the kids were finished, Mrs. Wishy drew a big happy face and wrote, Feel better soon. Love, Mrs. Wishy. I looked at my cast and smiled. Thanks, everybody. That looks really cool. It was so great being the center of attention. I felt like I was king of the world. Then Mrs. Wishy brought me back down to earth. As everyone went to sit on the rug, she said, Now remember, boys and girls, your nocturnal animal reports are due tomorrow. I hope everyone worked hard on them over the weekend. Oh no, the report! I had forgotten all about it. I still hadn't picked an animal. But why was I worrying? Mrs. Wishy wouldn't make me do it with a broken arm. I raised my hand. Yes, Freddy. Mrs. Wishy, you don't expect me to do the report with a broken arm, do you? You're lucky, Freddy, because this is not a written report. It's an oral report, so you can still do it. It doesn't involve any writing. All you have to do is talk, so I know you'll do just fine. The king of the world just became the king of the mud. And here is his cast. And let's see what happens. Chapter 8, the report. That afternoon after school, I begged my mom to let me go over to Robbie's house to do some research for my report. He has his own computer in his room, and he's like a whiz with that thing. He's better than my dad. He said he could help me find information about my animal on the internet. Hey guys, Robbie's mom said as she came in his room. I didn't even hear you come in. Sorry about what happened, Freddy. How's your arm feeling? It's okay, Mrs. Jackson. I still don't know what the two of you were doing in the backyard in the middle of the night, But I do know one thing for sure. It won't happen ever again, right, Robbie? Right, Mom. Robbie's mom stood in the doorway, shaking her head. Hanging upside down in a tree, in the middle of the night. What do you think you are, Freddy, a bat? A bat, that's it. I ran over to Robbie's mom and gave her a big hug. Thanks, Mrs. Jackson. For what? You just gave me a great idea. I did? I wonder what he's going to do his nocturnal animal report on. Yeah, I didn't know which nocturnal animal to pick for my report, but now I do. A bat. Great idea. Let me know if you boys need any help. Okay, thanks, Mom, Robbie said as his mom turned and left. All right, Freddy, let's see what we can find. His fingers started flying over the keys. Oh, here's a great site for bats. It tells you all kinds of interesting information. He started to read some of it to me. Even though he's in the second grade, he reads better than a fourth grader. Most bats eat either fruit or insects. Fruit sounds good, but once I ate a cricket and it made me vomit, I said. Thank you for sharing, Robbie said, making a face. Any time, I answered, smiling. The largest bat is the flying fox. Holy cow, I said. Look at that thing, it's huge. I sure hope they don't live around here. Don't worry, it says here they live in Asia. That's good, because just looking at that thing could give you nightmares. Yuck, I said, sticking out my tongue. Oh, here's something really cool, Robbie continued. You can put this in your report. Bats have sort of a sixth sense called echolocation that they use to help them move around in the dark. What? Echolocation. Insect-eating bats send out high-pitched sound, and then the sound bounces off objects around them and comes back to their ears. This is how they sense if there is a tree they are about to fly into, or if there is an insect near them to eat. Hey, I wish I had that sense when I got to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm always smacking my face right into the bathroom door. Oh, so that explains why your face looks like that. Very funny, I said. What does it say about hanging upside down? Let's see. It says that bats hang upside down when they are resting, and they wrap their wings around themselves like blankets to keep warm. When a mother bat gives birth, she hangs by her thumb claws with her head up and makes a basket with her body. The baby slides down into it. But if there's no nest, then doesn't the egg just fall to the ground and crack when it comes out of the mom, I asked? Bats don't lay eggs. They don't? No. Even though they fly, they are not birds. They are mammals. What's a mammal? I want you to be thinking to see if maybe you know what a mammal is. You're a mammal. And you're crazy. No, really, Freddy. A mammal means that you are born alive, not from an egg. Your body has hair, and you drink your mother's milk. Oh, I get it. Geez, you sure know a lot about stuff, Robbie. Bat babies are born alive from their moms, and the mom catches them with her body when they come out, so they don't fall to the ground. Wow, bats are pretty interesting. I'm glad I picked them. Can you print that out for me, Robbie? Sure, just promise me one thing. What? You don't go on any night flights tonight. Chapter 9. Help. After I got home from Robbie's, my mom was helping me organize my report when Suzy walked in. What are you doing? I'm trying to practice my report. I have to do it tomorrow. What's your report about? Suzy asked. Bats. Ew, gross. Bats suck your blood. That's what I used to think, but they're actually really gentle animals. Only the vampire bat drinks blood, and it rarely bites humans. It mostly laps up the blood of big animals like cows. It doesn't even live in North America. Wow, I think you're spending too much time around Robbie, Suzy said. His geekiness is rubbing off on you. You totally sounded just like him. What's wrong with that? My mom said. Robbie's a very smart little boy. He's a science geek, Suzy said. He is not, I said. He's my best friend, so just quiet. All right, you two, Mom said. Suzy, sit down and let Freddy do his report for you. He's nervous, so he needs to practice a bit in front of an audience. I don't want to do it for her. Well, I don't have time anyway. I have to do my homework. You have 5 minutes, Mom said, leading Suzy over to a chair. Just sit. Do I have to do it for her? Yes, it's good practice. Now, come on. I recited my report. When I was finished, my mom said, See, Freddy, there's nothing to be nervous about. You did just great. I don't get nervous in front of Suzy, Mom, but I know I'm going to freeze up in front of the class. I was really nervous before my first oral report too, Suzy said. You know what Dad told me to do? No. What? He told me to just imagine everyone sitting there in their underwear. I did, and it was funny, and I totally forgot about being nervous. It really worked? Yep. Just then the phone rang, and my mom got up to answer it. I'll be back in a minute. Your report is missing something, though, Suzy said. What? Pictures. Kids like to see pictures. I could cut and paste these from the computer. They're not big enough. Well, with my arm like this, I can't draw any. I'll make some for you, Suzy said. Really? You'd do that for me? I'll make you a deal. I will draw you pictures for your report if you promise to carry your own backpack from now on instead of making me do it. You didn't break both arms. Your left one still works, right? But Mom and Dad, do we have a deal or not? Deal, I said as we locked pinkies. Of course I had to use my left one. You're the best sister in the whole world. I know. Chapter 10. Teddy Bear Underwear. The next day at school, when it was time to do our reports, Mrs. Wishy picked me to go first. As I got up in front of the class, my stomach started doing flip-flops. I thought I was going to throw up right there, but then I remembered what Suzy told me, and I closed my eyes. I imagined everyone in his underwear. Chloe had on pink underwear with flowers. Max's were the best. He had on little teddy bears. The biggest bully in all second grade had teddy bear underwear. Are you okay, Freddy? Mrs. Wishy whispered in my ear. I opened my eyes and smiled a great big smile. Yeah, I'm fine, just great, I said. Then with Robbie holding up my pictures, I recited my whole report perfectly. When I finished, everybody clapped. Well, Freddy, said Mrs. Wishy, you did a fabulous job even with a broken arm. You should be proud of yourself. I barely heard her. I was still thinking about Max in his teddy bear underwear. And that is the end of the book. Ready Freddy series, Homer Castles. If you enjoyed that, you can get other books in this series. All right, thanks for listening.